Hey, Eli here, allspiritualplaces.com. And in the last video, I talked about breaking out of your comfort zone, doing things that were uncomfortable because you had to, because you knew that was the best way to advance. And this is kind of a follow-up in that segment. While you're doing things that are uncomfortable, it's also being courageous when you're doing these things and not negating the value of what you're doing or how someone from the outside can perceive it. Just having this freedom to be able to follow it, to be able to follow your intuition. And this came about because recently, at the beginning of this week, which is why I haven't posted anything sooner, I had to hop the border to Mexico. I'm currently in San Diego, and go to the dentist. And I probably did it in a way that most people would not do. I Googled a couple of dental clinics, and then I left. And I drove down the border. I've never done it before, and I parked the car somewhere. I walked across the border, and then I walked around Tijuana for a couple hours until I found a dentist. The first one smelled like cigarettes, so I figured that's probably not the best thing to smell as soon as you walk into a dental clinic. So I went and I found another one, and they took x-rays, and then they determined that the tooth couldn't be saved. Unfortunately, it was a baby tooth, my very last one. So now I guess I'm a full-grown adult, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at that situation. And they extracted the tooth, and they said no spicy food for at least 24 hours, at least a day. So I did the walk of shame back across the border, just super depressed that I couldn't eat any birria, I couldn't eat any tacos, I couldn't eat any pozole or any tortas or any Mexican food while I was there, because it's all spicy, and if it's not spicy, there's no point in eating it. That's a different story. And so I walked back across the border, and I drove back home, and I told this story to a couple of people, and it shocked them that I just got up, drove to Mexico in the morning, got a tooth extracted, and drove back. And to me, it was nothing. But to them, it's a big deal. They have to do research on it. They have to find out where they're going, what they're doing, all these other things. Like, how does it work with parking on the other side, the border crossing? Are there all these logistical things? And to me, it's like, no, we're just going to get up and go. And that's how you get to a point where you can honor your intuition, where you can do these things not out of courage, but because you just know that you have to do them, even if they're slightly uncomfortable, even if they make you a little bit anxious. But you can twist that anxiety into excitement, which is what I did. It was like, hey, I'm going to Tijuana. I've never been before. I get to walk around this place. It's been almost over a year since I've been in Mexico. And now I get to go back, and maybe like I'll just keep walking around and see what happens. And maybe I'll keep going further south and go from there. And then like, my Spanish is terrible now. How long is it going to take me to remember it and to speak better? And it's just having this confidence in these situations, and this knowing that you can just move forward and progress in the ways that other people see as courageous. And you just think, and not think, but you just know it's just a part of who you are, and there's no other way around it. And it's just not a big deal at all. It's just a little bit of dirt off your shoulder, and then you're on your way again, and you get back to life. And it's these little hiccups, these little things that add so much depth and character and allow things to start to slide into place for you. Because if you're willing to step up in these small ways that most people don't think are small, that's huge into how you play into the world, and the messages you're sending out into the world, into the universe, and what you're able to get back and receive. And that's the whole point of this video, is that now you've been able to jump into these discomfort zones, into to be able to expand your comfort zones, and then finally now to grasp that intuitive side and that guidance where you're just like, hey, this is who I am, and these are the things that I have to do, and I'm okay with it. And I can twist that into being either from no big deal, which most of the time they're not, or into something that actually excites you. So until next time.